Welcome. Today, how lasers shield airliners. Give that like a gentle tap, maybe subscribe. Right then, let's dive straight in. Imagine this, if you will. You're sitting comfortably on a plane, thousands of feet in the air, perhaps enjoying a rather tiny bag of pretzels. Suddenly, a bright beam of light shoots out from your aircraft. It's not a searchlight, oh no. It's something far more clever, a secret signal aimed at a missile. A bit dramatic for a Tuesday, isn't it? You see, the world can be a bit of a messy place. To understand the genius of the solution, we first need to appreciate the problem. And the problem is a bit of a hothead, literally. Heat-seeking missiles, infrared homing missiles, are designed with a very simple, very persistent goal in mind. They are like a bloodhound that's been trained to sniff out one thing and one thing only: heat. They have a special sensor in their nose, a seeker, that scans the sky for sources of intense infrared radiation. And what, pray tell, is one of the hottest things you'll find cruising at 35,000 feet? Why? A jet engine, of course. Once that missile's seeker locks onto the fiery exhaust of an airliner's engine, it's terribly single-minded. It thinks, aha, there is my target, my one true love, my reason for being. And it will chase that heat signature with relentless determination. The missile's internal computer makes constant, tiny adjustments to its fins, ensuring it stays perfectly on course to intercept that source of heat. It's a remarkably effective and, let's be honest, terrifyingly simple system. The missile doesn't need a complicated radar or a person guiding it with a joystick. It just follows the heat. It's the ultimate party crasher. Now, for the pilots and the engineers on the ground, this presents a rather pressing dilemma. The missile is fast, it's determined, and it's heading for the very thing that's keeping the plane in the air. The challenge is to break that obsessive bond between the missile's seeker and the engine's heat. You need to convince the missile that it's chasing the wrong thing. It's like trying to distract a toddler who has just spotted a glorious forbidden cake. You need to offer something even more tempting, something that will make it completely forget what it was so focused on just a moment before. This is where the real cleverness comes in. So you can't just turn the engines off. That would be a rather short and unfun flight. You can't outrun it, as these things are built for speed. So how do you perform this magical act of misdirection? Well, you use a rather fabulous bit of kit called sea music. And no, it has nothing to do with playing a soothing sonata to calm the missile's nerves. Commercial, multispectral infrared countermeasure. A bit of a mouthful, I know, but what it does is pure poetry. In essence, sea music is a sophisticated jammer that jams the missile's view by creating a dazzling, confusing light show. The system is housed in a pod usually attached to the underside of the aircraft's fuselage. It's constantly on the lookout. When its own sensors detect the telltale sign of an approaching missile launch, a flash of heat from the ground, it springs into action automatically. There's no big red button for the pilot to press. The entire process is handled by a computer that thinks far faster than any human could. It identifies the threat, tracks it, and then prepares its response, all in a fraction of a second. It's the epitome of quiet competence. The sea music pod contains a powerful laser, but it's not a laser for zapping things in a sci-fi movie. Instead, it directs a very precise, very controlled beam of infrared energy at the missile's seeker head. The laser beam is modulated. Its signal is rapidly changed to create a confusing pattern. It paints a false, more attractive heat source onto the missile's sensor. The missile is fooled, shifting its aim toward the fake hotspot. The entire engagement, from detection to neutralization, happens in just 1 to 2 seconds. Think about that. Oh, bother. And the system has already saved the aircraft. It is an act of technological grace, a silent, invisible shield using light to defeat a fiery foe, a supremely elegant deception, a magic trick at the speed of sound. Let's get a little closer to this magic trick, shall we? Imagine you're the missile. You're having a grand old time, streaking through the sky, your eyes fixed on that lovely, warm, glowing dot ahead of you. It's your whole world. Then, all of a sudden, a new light appears. This new light is brighter, more vibrant, flickering and pulsing. Your simple sensor, which was so contentedly focused on the steady heat of the engine, is now completely overwhelmed by this dazzling new spectacle. You are, for all intents and purposes, blinded. This is precisely what the C-Music's laser beam does. It doesn't destroy the missile's seeker, it just confuses it into a state of utter uselessness. The modulated infrared energy creates a false target that is so much more compelling than the real one, the missile's guidance system simply cannot ignore it. It's like trying to listen to a quiet conversation while someone is stood next to you, shouting nonsense through a megaphone. The original signal, the engine heat, gets lost in the noise. The missile's logic circuit effectively gives up, breaking its lock on the plane. Once the lock is broken, the missile is lost. It no longer has a target to guide it. Without continuous instructions telling it where to go, it becomes just a simple piece of metal flying through the air. The sophisticated guidance fins go limp, and the missile begins to tumble end over end, falling harmlessly out of the sky. It veers away from the aircraft, its mission a complete failure, ensuring it detonates far away or simply crashes into the ground, posing no threat to the plane or the people below. It is a wonderfully anticlimactic end for such a menacing weapon. What makes this so exceptionally safe is that the entire process is clean. There are no explosions near the aircraft, no shrapnel, no fire. The plane simply flies on, completely unscathed, its passengers none the wiser. The pilot doesn't have to perform any drastic evasive maneuvers that might alarm those on board. The system handles the entire affair with a quiet, digital efficiency that is frankly astonishing. It's the difference between a chaotic bar brawl and a single, perfectly timed, witty retort that ends the argument before it even starts. Now, C-Music wasn't the first attempt at solving this rather pointy problem. For decades, military aircraft have used a much more, shall we say, flamboyant method: flares. Flares are essentially small, pyrotechnic cartridges filled with materials like magnesium that burn incredibly hot when ignited. When a pilot detects a threat, they launch a volley of these flares, creating a series of intensely hot new targets in the sky. The idea is that the heat-seeking missile will be seduced by these hotter, more dazzling decoys and chase them instead of the aircraft's engines. It's a tried-and-true military tactic, and it can work quite well. However, for a commercial airliner, it's a bit like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. First, you are intentionally setting things on fire and ejecting them from your aircraft, which carries its own set of risks, especially over populated areas near a busy airport. Second, it requires the pilot to react to make a decision and to deploy the system, all while under extreme pressure. And third, flares are a finite resource. Once you've used them all up, your bag of tricks is empty. It's a rather dramatic and slightly messy solution for the world of civil aviation. Another older system, sometimes fitted to civilian planes, was called Flight Guard. This system used radar to detect an incoming missile and would then automatically launch flares. This took the pilot out of the loop, which was a step in the right direction, but it still relied on the same basic principle of throwing hot, burning objects out of the plane. It was better, but it wasn't the quantum leap in safety and subtlety that the industry was hoping for. The fundamental issue of using pyrotechnics on a passenger jet remained a point of concern for safety regulators and airlines alike. C-Music, by comparison, is a complete paradigm shift. It replaces the fiery, chaotic spectacle of flares with the cool, calculated precision of a laser beam. There is no fire, no debris, and no risk of starting an unintended blaze on the ground. The system is entirely self-contained. It can engage multiple threats without ever running out of ammunition, as long as it has electrical power. It's faster, acting in 1 to 2 seconds, whereas deploying flares can take longer. It's the difference between a medieval trebuchet and a modern sniper rifle. Both can hit a target, but one does it with far more elegance, precision, and safety. All this talk of lasers and blinding missiles is terribly exciting, but I can hear you thinking, that's all well and good, Graham, but does it actually work in the real world? It's a fair question. A fancy gadget is no use if it's just a theory on a whiteboard. Well, the proof is in the skies. The C Music system and its relatives are not just experimental prototypes. They are proven operational systems fitted to a wide range of aircraft that fly some of the world's most sensitive routes every single day. One of the earliest and most prominent adopters was the Israeli airline, ELAL. Given the, let's call it, lively neighborhood in which they operate, ELAL has always been at the forefront of aviation security. They made the decision years ago to equip their entire fleet with this type of directional infrared countermeasure, or DIRCM system. Boeing 737s, Boeing 777s, and even their state-of-the-art Boeing 787 Dreamliners. When an airline whose very existence depends on unparalleled safety puts its faith and its money into a system, you can be sure it has been tested to within an inch of its life. The adoption of this technology has since spread. Many governments have fitted it to their VIP transport aircraft, the planes that carry presidents' prime ministers. Furthermore, cargo airlines that frequently fly into conflict zones rely on these systems to protect their crews and valuable assets. The technology has been integrated onto a whole host of large aircraft, proving its adaptability and reliability. It's become the gold standard for protecting large, multi-engine jets from the threat of man-portable air defense systems, or MANPADS, which are the most common type of heat-seeking missile. And here is the most important fact of all, the one that truly speaks volumes. In all the years these systems have been operational on commercial aircraft, there have been precisely 0 losses and 0 successful attacks on aircraft equipped with them. Let that sink in, 0. That is not a statistic born of luck. It is a testament to the system's incredible effectiveness. It means that countless flights have been silently protected and countless lives have been kept safe, all thanks to an invisible beam of light. It's a quiet success story, but a profoundly important one. So, there we have it. The rather marvelous story of how a clever beam of light became one of the most elegant life-saving devices in modern aviation. It's a tale that takes us from the brute force physics of a heat-seeking missile to the subtle digital artistry of an infrared laser jammer. The C Music system is a beautiful example of how the best solution to a dangerous problem isn't always more force, but more intelligence. It doesn't fight fire with fire, it fights fire with focused, modulated light, which is just so much more sophisticated, don't you think? It represents a move away from the loud, messy, risky countermeasures of the past towards something that is quiet, clean, and unfailingly safe. By blinding the missile instead of trying to fool it with burning decoys, it neutralizes the threat without creating any new dangers. It keeps the passengers calm, the pilots focused, and the aircraft completely out of harm's way. It's a guardian that does its job so discreetly that its very presence is a comfort, and its successful operation goes completely unnoticed. That, in my book, is the very definition of elegance. The next time you find yourself gazing out of an aeroplane window, watching the world drift by from 35,000 feet, perhaps give a little thought to the incredible, invisible technologies that are working tirelessly to ensure your journey is as boring as possible. Safety in the skies is no accident. It is the result of decades of innovation and the tireless work of brilliant engineers who invent things like C Music. They are the ones who ensure that the only drama on your flight is whether the person in front of you reclines their seat too far. And on that note, my time is up. Thank you so much for joining me today and for lending me your ear. It has been an absolute pleasure. I do hope you'll pop back again for more stories about the big, clever ideas that shape our world. Do stay safe, be good to each other, and goodbye for now. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Well, hello there, and a massive thank you for popping by. It's just lovely to have you here. Give that little like button a gentle tap, and perhaps consider subscribing.